Hello, campers, and this is Tales from the Campfire Podcast. All right, Keegan. Take us into battle, please.
What battle are we fighting?
Well, right now,
the battle against good and evil.
No, we are taking care of the Russians because Putin is Putin all over the place.
Mm-hmm. The battle for Hogwarts.
Yeah, he's gonna wave his magic wand around.
Here comes the boy who lived. Come to die.
That was loud as shit.
Our neighbors are gonna kill us.
Okay, well, that's the last one. That's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this bit, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
My name is Keegs. I'm one of your camp counselors. I am joined by Kev.
What up?
And Manny. Say hello, Manny.
Hello.
And Ruth. Ruth is in the studio with us today.
Hello.
You'll see, or not see, I mean, this is an audio medium. You'll hear her popping into the background, and if she wants to talk, she is going to throw something at my face.
Our mascot's fucking around with the window.
Stop it.
You can't even see.
How do you know things are there? He can't see anything, and he knows where things are.
We are here to tell you tales of the creepy, the weird, and the highly strange, and we're also here today to piss off Kevin's neighbors.
And the Stanley Hotel.
Oh, yes. This week we will be talking about the Stanley Hotel. There's a lot that goes into that and a lot that comes out of it. Mostly human juice.
And poop.
Lots of poop.
I don't know why I had the dying need to say that, but I said it.
You got to get the poop joke out.
I said
right
it.
At the beginning.
I said it.
Hey, they have toilets. They have urinals. There's pee and poop.
Pee, pee, poo, poo.
Hey, yo, pee pee poo poo check.
And probably a lot of semen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when they're on shore leave, they probably stay there a lot. So
Shore. What? Oh, semen. It's long, hard, full of semen.
I told you, man. Like I know what it's called. I know what the jargon is.
Got to get the jism jokes out of the way at the beginning, too.
You know those freshwater jellyfish.
I heard you needed some man lube.
And some man lube. Nope, we're going in dry and crusty on this one.
Bite the pillow, Johnny. We're going in dry.
Let's talk about stories tonight.
Stories.
Actually, before we
There's
get to
5
stories,
stories on buildings. Facts.
before we get into stories, let's talk about some other shit. What's new in your guys' world?
Not too much. The only thing new here is this fresh cup of meat I poured for everybody.
It's bloody.
Yes, it is. Shameless plug. Bear Claw Meadery is sponsoring this episode today. And it's going to launch here pretty soon. It's my own meadery. I make all this meat myself.
Oh, it's so fucking good, too.
Now, the flavor we're currently drinking, I call it Blood Eagle because of its color. It just legitimately looks like a cup of blood.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cherry and honey, and that's like all you taste.
It's legitimately
but
it.
I don't mean that as in that's all you taste, but like it doesn't taste like alcohol.
No.
It tastes. I'm new to the mead world. And yeah, I mean, I dig it. What was the how many cherries did you put into it?
Well, in this like small 4-gallon batch that I did, I used I did 4. I used 18 pounds of cherries for 4 gallons.
Yes.
That's a lot of cherries.
It's a lot of cherries.
Do you match them with your feet?
No, I don't.
Like wine?
No, it does that all itself when it sits in the carboy and excretes all of its juices.
All the sweet succulent juices that we're
all
now
the
enjoying.
juices, and just ferment that stuff in bee vomit. It's so good. It's so good.
Vegans, eat your heart out, man. What was the cheers you taught us earlier?
Skal.
Skal.
Yeah, that's the one.
Let's get one, man.
That Viking cheers in there.
We're not close enough to clink.
Water clink.
But when you let it sit, and it gains just a couple degrees on it. Like if you're not drinking this chilled and it goes straight to like room temperature, it punches you in the freaking mouth. It really does, because I'm just like
Yeah.
sitting here. I got a little bit left, so it's warming up quick, and it's just like, oh,
But that is that the more traditional way of
oh,
drinking it?
absolutely, 100%. But I'm just a little bougie bitch, and I like to have my mead chilled.
What you really need is an ocean where you put all the meat in it. Just let it chill by the ocean.
Yep. So like, what I'd want is a nice creek where I can remove a few rocks, sink those bottles down at the bottom, put rocks over top of it.
Oh, that sounds very traditional.
The fisherman bottle.
And then you're gonna bury some fish and let them ferment, and then eat them after 6 months.
No.
Yeah, traditionally, when we cross borders,
What do they call that stuff? I know it starts surströmmings. That is no.
That's the stuff that smells really bad. Right?
Way too many reaction videos to be like, yeah, why don't we just go ahead and order some off of Amazon so I can just open this pressurized can of fish shit and have it spray all over my kitchen and smell it for the next couple of weeks. Like, I'm not about that.
For anyone that doesn't know, Kevin is
a meterist.
Well, he is a meterist, but he is a Viking. His heritage lies with the Vikings. He's not like the douchebags that their parents are from fucking the Midwest and their parents were from the Midwest.
You're from Ohio and just learn about what the runes are and go,
This is my calling.
to Valhalla. Well, here's the thing. I don't bash on anybody that gets into that kind of like a pagan, Norse paganism. Like, it's for everybody.
It's like a religion,
Right.
In a sense.
But there are, I mean, I'm not gatekeeping in any sense of what it is, but there are people that are just born into it. And that is absolutely my family.
Yeah, I mean, you're German, like
Right.
legitimately German.
But like, our lineage goes way farther back. Like, I'm related to like one of the, like, there's an actual captain of some of the Viking ships, and I'm related to one of them. Like, they were able to trace it back that far, and they're like, oh, you're related to the sea giant. And I'm like, that sounds like a guy you don't want to fuck with. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Sounds good to me. So
Yeah, well,
I'm related to my dad.
wherever he is, I'm totally sure.
He never came back with the milk.
He said he needed milk and cigarettes, and haven't seen either in this house for over 30 years.
And that's why we eat cereal with water.
Tequila instead. Man, these tricks taste a little different, man. Ah, yes.
You got the
your
good
family
laugh.
pours meat in
Very
your guys'-
different. Muy bueno. Bueno tricks.
Yeah, but I'm very stoked for you and your mead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of following in the lineage. I do have a winery that's already in Germany. It's not, per se mine, but it belongs to my family. So they're already doing stuff. So just kind of following in that family lineage, I am now also making my brand of wine. And just kind of carrying that torch as well. Cause like, apparently we're pretty good wineries have actually won awards out in Germany. So I'm like, well, if they can do it over there, I can do it over here, so just kind of carrying that torch, going on with it, making my family proud. So
I'm going to get you some Jalisco blue agave syrup.
I'm cool with that.
We'll make some agave mead. I don't know how many
That is a real thing though. You can't
Yeah.
actually do that. So
Well, blue agave is basically honey. That's all it is.
yeah, I mean, anything that the yeast can feed off of and create that sweet, sweet alcohol. Sorry for all of you straight edge guys out there. I appreciate what you're doing, but you're missing out.
Maybe someday you could have a virgin mead.
I don't even think that's possible. It's just grape juice at that point.
That's just honey water, dude.
Here's a cup of
With a
honey
cherry, with a maraschino cherry.
with some cherry squeezed into it. Enjoy.
Just watered down honey in a cup.
So, I mean, we're going to get our liquor license here pretty soon. So we'll have some on sale soon. We're on Instagram. Don't have anything else more than that right now. We don't even have any posts up yet. It's just Bear Claw Meadery. That's it. So,
Well, yeah. And I mean, as a whole, as far as, this podcast, your meadery, stuff we're doing individually, we're all looking into starting like sticker productions and merchandise productions.
yep.
If things continue going well with this podcast, which they will, we're going to be doing that as well. So everyone listening, if you're interested in any of this stuff, it'll be coming down the line. Also, I need to do a shameless plug for the podcast. which is the Patreon.
The Patreon, something we haven't talked about yet. This is the first time. Give us your money that you've worked so hard for, because we work hard too.
Well, I did the cheesy.
Yeah, to defeat the cost of gas prices, we also need some money because shit, poor Manny has to drive pretty far.
Still driving that Hummer?
Support me. No, I came in the Jeep today, so
Okay, good.
Well, that's the better way to go.
yeah. I went from a 5-cylinder, straight 5-cylinder, to a straight 6.
There we go. Even numbers, people. We all like
Give me
it.
American.
Satisfying.
Yeah, so we're going to plug the Patreon because we have pretty good equipment now, but we'd like to start making upgrades, like maybe some soundproofing, because you guys can't hear it because I am good at editing this shit. Well, okay, I'm novice, but I know kind of.
You're still better than everyone sitting in this room right now. So we'll say you're seasoned. You're seasoned.
You guys can hear it, and Ruth can hear it. There's a reverb in this room that's happening.
The vaulted ceilings in my apartment because I'm a bougie bitch again.
Then we're in the dungeon, and fuck, maybe eventually we could have a studio where we can do photo shoots and recordings and stuff. But yeah, so if you guys just look us up on Patreon, it's, Tales from the Campfire podcast. And we are currently doing bonus episodes over there. We'll do any shout outs. I was planning on doing shout outs tonight for the first time, but we have no patrons as of right now, which is fine. It's fine. You guys work for your money. We work for ours. But maybe in the future, when we do have Patreons, we will do shout outs. There will also be bonus content. So for the lowest tier, which is of the 2 tiers, the lowest one is $5. And that's just for updates, the power to vote on future episodes. And it's where the scripts are going. So all the scripts, including tonight's script, will go up onto that one. And I believe that one also has the preview. I could be wrong on that. But then the preview of the episode, that is the day before. The second tier, the $10 tier, is the bonus episode. So that's where to go. This last week that we released one Kevin and I had recorded with Ruth, where we talked about our ghost stories and stuff. And that's what the format's gonna kind of be. We're gonna record this week's episode right after this episode that we're about to record for y'all.
And only the Patreons get to listen to that. So not everyone on YouTube and SoundCloud or wherever it is that you're listening to this, you will not be able to listen to this unless you're a Patreon.
Yeah. And it is called Lights Out.
Lights out, because you know what happens with those kids, at the summer camps, they got to go to bed sometime. That's when adults have their adult time. This isn't going to be like the normal stuff that we would talk about. It is like our personal, like us, as people, like, cause you hear us as, podcasters, but you don't hear us as like actual people, like what we're dealing with, what we're doing, plans, or even just stories that we have all together.
Exactly.
So this is kind of also another way to get to know us a little bit better as just people.
Well, yeah. And, a lot of the people who listen to us already know us. So why not listen to our ghost stories? I mean, it's your guys' hard-earned money, but it's $10 a month to just hear us and hang out with us for a few extra minutes. By a few extra minutes, I think last week's episode is an hour 20. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play the opener for Lights Out as a little push.
A little taste test.
Yeah, a little taste test.
A little tester.
And then next week, what we'll do in the place of this is we will do a little preview of what we are recording for Lights Out this week.
So also follow us on Instagram and Twitch. And
yeah. Follow us on the socials, and it's a good way to get to know us and kind of our goofiness outside of this place,
Because some of us have a lot of hidden talents you don't even know about.
Right.
There's a lot of things that we do outside of this that you'd probably actually like and want to talk to us a little bit more about that as well. So
All right.
Get to know us. We're not just camp counselors, okay? We got lives.
So go ahead and listen to this opener.
He had beautiful hair.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
This wars off spells right here. Get it. This is a special leprechaun flute. This has been passed down from thousands of years ago from my great-great-grandfather who was Irish.
He had gray hair, a gray beard come down here. shit. And he went right back out that path again.
So you can kind of see from that.
He went right down that path again.
You can kind of tell from that it's kind of more of a goofier thing, because if you know where those sound bites come from, and it's just somewhere for us to have fun, you know. All right, first story. All these stories come from Coast to Coast, their website, because apparently they're what's that National Enquirer. We were talking about doing National Enquirer reads. I couldn't find anything. We're going to do Coast to Coast reads from now on, I guess. Okay. Because they actually report all this strange shit going on.
I mean, I just like National Enquirer because it's nothing to be taken seriously. It's like absolutely a big heaping pile of bullshit. I feel like this, though, is like real news, though.
Yeah, it's definitely the high strangeness.
Right, because I was saying, do National Enquirer because it's absolutely unbelievable. Like it's written to be satire and bullshit. Right. This is actually written to be taken seriously.
Jogger stumbles upon bizarre alien creature on sidewalk in Australia. An Australian jogger in a Sydney suburb was left scratching his head when he stumbled upon a truly bizarre creature that has even left wildlife experts stumped. The very weird find was reportedly made this past Monday morning in the community of Merrickville when Harry Hayes went for a run following several days of significant rain that had caused flooding in the area. The normally routine bit of exercise took a baffling turn when he looked down at one point during the jog and saw an incredibly strange creature on the pavement at his feet. Understandably quite curious about what the oddity might be, the young man stooped down to film the puzzling discovery and even poked it with a stick.
Ooh, stick.
Though that did not seem to have any effect on the oddity, which he said measured around an inch and a half long. After posting the video of the critter on social media, Hayes' footage quickly went viral with astounded viewers offering a variety of theories as to nature of the peculiar find. I don't know why I was saying it like that.
Yeah, I've had days where I just get stuck on a word.
Well, that's every Tuesday for me, apparently. Among the
Bear Claw Mead, shameless plug. That's why. The Blood Eagle, it's getting to him.
Yeah. It's good shit, man.
It's sitting at a good 16.9%, guys. Ow! He bit me. Okay, stop.
He was approving.
God, he bit me hard.
Among the suggestions put forward by observers that man, he's fucking with my thing again.
I'm not fucking with you.
That's not you?
That's not me.
I just saw it going down. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't doing anything.
I'm not even on the drive.
All right.
No, I'm not even. It doesn't affect it on the phone.
All right. Our drive is haunted, apparently.
Yes. Perfect.
Yes. Awesome.
Let's do it.
Where was I? Among the suggestions,
It's like Thor Ragnarok when Hulk walks out and goes, yeah.
Hayes has come across the embryo of an organ yet to be identified animal.
An organ?
Suggestions is that it's embryo or organ, merely an alien-looking rock.
Cybernetic organism.
Biologists who
future.
saw the young man's footage said that he had shared it with several colleagues and they were equally stumped by the strange specimen. For his part, Hayes mused that my gut says it's some kind of embryo and joked that with COVID, World War II, and the floods, he couldn't rule out the possibility that the creature came from out of this world. I'll throw a picture of that creature up on our social media so you guys can see it as well. So I should have brought the picture of the fucking thing so I could show you guys. I'm failing.
Tannen's listening to you talk.
It's just like gooey little gray thing he found. It's pretty weird.
Oh my god. Can hear Winston downstairs being a dickhead. Hello. He actually just said hello. That's insane.
Winston.
Wince, you piece of shit. Can you stop it for like 2 seconds?
Let's get into the story about Japanese scientists real quick. A centuries-old sacred mermaid mummy is set to be scientifically analyzed by researchers in Japan.
Mermaid.
And I think it actually talks about that.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've never read the script.
In an attempt to determine the true nature.
Blind.
Same.
Yeah. True nature of the mysterious creature. According to local media report, the rather nightmarish oddity is said to have been captured by fishermen sometime around 1738 and subsequently passed through the hands of various owners until ultimately winding up at the Buddhist temple in the city of Asakuchi.
Asakuchi.
At some point,
I've visited Asakuchi a few times.
clearly, you're not married yet. At some point in the last century, the curious creature, which resembles the half-human, half-fish construction of a classic mermaid, was showcased at the site for decades until being put into storage to protect the puzzling specimen.
Protect the puzzling
Seeming
Thespian.
specimen.
Seemingly forgotten since then, the
Perpendicular.
purport.
Guys, this episode's gonna get really interesting because this mead is strong.
We started drinking the mead before
This
we started
mead
the
is
episode.
so strong, and the longer these guys wait to finish this stuff, the more strong. I mean, the stronger it's gonna get. It's gonna get harder to drink because there's so much alcohol in this stuff.
It's
The
not bad.
second it starts to warm up, it gets harder to drink. I popped open my second bottle, by the way.
Yeah, well,
I'm
thank God
almost
you
done.
live here.
Oh shit! Oh damn!
Seemingly forgotten since then, the purportedly mummified
Purportedly.
the fucking mermaid was rediscovered by Hiroshi.
The perpendicular mermaid.
It was discovered by Hiroshi Kinoshita of the Okayama Folklore Society while studying the works of a famed Japanese natural historian, Kiyoaki Seto, who wrote about mysterious creatures. After tracking down the location of the ancient relic, the researcher brought it to the attention of scientists from the country's oh my god, dude.
Kuroshikai University.
Fucking university, and suggested that they examine the peculiar specimen. Remarkably, the temple was open to such an analysis of their treasured piece and turned the approximately 1 foot long creature remains to a team of specialists from the university. The group plans to conduct an array of tests on the alleged mermaid, including a morphological analysis, DNA testing, and CT scanning. Other team members will attempt to determine the
process
by which the creature was mummified, and Kinoshita, who thrust the oddity into the spotlight in the first place, will be providing a folkloric look at the relic in order to tell its complete story.
Why folkloric? Why not a new look at it?
Because they know it's not real.
They're like, we're going to examine this like we were in 1738.
I learned something.
Yeah, we're all learning.
No. I learned something. Like, I want to see how Keegan would do if we actually went to Japan, because I feel like you'd just get pissed off at every name of any building or any place we're going to. He's gonna stutter 3 times on the name and go, "Fuck it, someplace in Japan."
We went to this fucking building and it was like,
we're going to
kicking
Hiroshi Harashi, where the fucking bomb was dropped. That's where we're going. Okay.
it's like we're gonna go to here. Okay, fuck it. It's a city in Japan that we're going to.
This Japanese city was once Japanese, and like we saw Japanese people there.
Yeah, and this one guy named like Hiro or something.
Hiro.
The only
Some shushas
person
in there or ikas.
The only person I know is Saitama. Dude finishes any fight in one punch.
Whatever. Fucking Goku.
You know what? This a serious thing. I think Saitama might be able to defeat Goku.
Okay, let me
One
finish
punch.
this article.
Yeah, let's argue
One
about
punch.
anime right now.
The researchers say they'll unveil their complete findings later this year. Those hoping that the study might determine to find that the creature was a proverbial merbeing may wish to temper their expectations, as examinations of similar relics has always found that they are simply two prosaic animals, such as a monkey and a salmon, artfully sewn together. And that's what you were talking about earlier, right?
Right, yeah, the Fiji mermaid.
Which was a monkey and a fish.
Well, here's the thing. Anything
sewn together.
sideshow related, I'm going to know a lot about because I myself used to be a sideshow performer. So
Why are you ringing?
Oh.
why don't you pick it up? Why don't we for our first telephone person, like,
wow.
hey, welcome, you're on the podcast.
That reminds me to put my phone on silent.
Mine
Yes.
has been on silent since the day I bought it. So.
2014.
No, I got a new one. It's a 13. So it's the newest phone.
All right. Do you guys want to play some Cryptid Wiki?
Cryptid Wiki.
Cryptid.
Wiki.
I found a theme song for it, but it wouldn't fucking go into the thing, so I don't have it.
Nah, we'll just settle for that.
Bam, bam.
All right. Give me a number between. I need to pull up the site.
11d6. As the great Jimmy Neutron once said. As my
I'm
cat
so unorganized
is
today.
playing with an iPad. Oh, he got off of it.
I'm so fucking unorganized.
Put the koi fish on the iPad.
It's the mead. I'm telling you. Hashtag Bear Claw Meadery. Look us up on Instagram. We are definitely making this a really hard podcast to make tonight because this stuff is really
Yeah,
good.
it's kind of a testament to the mead. Because usually I'm really fucking...
No, Keegan
On top
is
of
usually
things.
on top of it and usually never lets things slide. But my mead makes you pretty sloppy. So.
Ruth,
Getting that sloppy mead.
since you are the guest in our bunkhouse here today,
She's not a guest.
I don't know, man. Ruth, give me a number between 1 and 26.
That's our producer.
Why are you looking at the ceiling?
Because
I'm
she
thinking of a
started.
number 17.
17.
All right, 17 is Q. My Ruth and I are sharing a mic right now because mine swivels. And
Swivels.
sorry, I the pop filter. Don't ever put your face on this pop filter.
No.
It's just beard and spit in this thing.
And whatever was in his beard besides spit.
Yeah. 17 is Q. Oh man, you picked a doozy.
Not being nosy.
All right, let's see what we can find for Q here. Cryptid Wiki.
Cryptid Wiki.
Cryptid Wiki.
Ba-da-ba.
Cryptid Wiki's not working either.
No.
Even the computer is drunk.
This fucking 1998 website's not wanting to load.
No worries. Hashtag Bear Claw Meadery.
Follow us on Twitch.
All right.
I make belts.
Let's see how many we have for Q.
Hold your pants up. I got belts.
You want to find another thing to beat your child with? You get a custom belt made by me.
We can put your child's name on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't even be hard.
This is Tyler's beater.
That sounds horrible, but yeah, I'll take it.
Manny, pick. Manny, pick a number between 1 and 15.
I'll make it easy on you. 7.
All right, we're gonna go with the questing beast. The questing beast, everyone.
Quest.
All right, you guys ready? The questing beast, or Glatisant, had the body of a leopard, the head of a snake, and the back legs of a lion.
The fuck is this?
But the feet...
Wait. Isn't a leopard just a fucking cat either way? The body of a leopard, but
No,
the
man.
back of a lion.
It's a liger. You don't get it, man.
It also had
mixed.
the feet of a stag or a rabbit, because those things are similar.
Right? One has a hoof and one doesn't. You
so
dumb
it just
shit.
has big ass back of feet.
Yep. produced the sound of 40 hunting dogs murmuring from its stomach. Due to the multiple unusual body parts put together, the questing beast represents incest and chaos.
Ooh.
The beast is said to have been created by a woman's lust for her own brother.
What are you doing, stepbrother?
Remember, Magneto
stuck in a
says
dryer.
incest is Nito.
I was trying to clean the dishwasher and I'm stuck. Can you help me out by...
Oh no, I seem to be stuck in the dryer. What should I do?
Oh my God, this happened to stepmom last week too. The beast is said to have been created by a woman's lust for her own brother. Once a woman wanted to start a sexual relationship with her brother, but her advances were rejected
So
by the brother.
So she turned him into a
It's fucking-
multifaceted beast.
Dude, it's the weirdest thing. Her brother didn't want to fuck her.
Dude, what a concept.
The woman then took refuge in the devil who killed the brother and created the questing beast.
You know what? You can't have your bro, but here's a big ass cat with rabbit feet.
If I can't have you, the tigers can't either.
The questing beast featured in the tales of King Arthur as a beast in the adventure of Sir Pellinore, and also in the tales of Arabic knight Palamedes. King Arthur started to fall in love with a woman who called Morgause. Unknown to King Arthur, Morgause was his half-sister. Morgause knew this, but continued to seduce King Arthur. Arthur then took a glimpse of the questing beast and sought Sir Pellinore to kill it. According to T.H. White, Sir Pellinore had no real reason to hunt and kill the questing beast, as a beast meant no harm. It was, in fact, a misunderstood creature. And then asked, could the questing beast be kin to the chimera?
Well, a chimera is just a human turned into some sort of animal, right?
Yes, I think so. I'm not entirely sure. Steel Queen 97 in the comment section says, Pellinore, my man, stop eating mushrooms. That thing was just a crocodile.
Yes. Steve Irwin.
Stick my finger up its bum.
Kitten Fox says, snakehead, neck and body of a giraffe, and cheetah legs. And
But they all went fucking completely different than what the story described.
yeah, so questing beast. Look it up. It's
He has a
Questing
quest.
beast.
probably the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard of. All right, let's go ahead and get into this now.
Clickety clack.
What's in the sack?
We're going to talk about the Stanley Hotel. Don't mind Ruth in the background.
It's
She's
furry
just talking.
snake time, dude.
No, we're skipping over that. We're going to save that for the
No,
Patreon.
we can't skip over it.
We're an hour in, so we're going to skip over it.
Yeah, it's a.
Let's talk about the man who made the Stanley Hotel.
man, the
Freeland
legend.
Oscar Stanley was an American inventor, entrepreneur, hotelier, and architect.
Why did that sound code? Like anybody out there that's been in the military, like Freeman Oscars. You know, like, what was his name? Stanley?
Freeland Oscar Stanley.
It sounds like that's code for something. Like,
Yeah.
FOS, baby.
Oscar
FOS.
Stanley. It's like, yeah, I'm going to need a Freeland Oscar Stanley here in about 10 clicks. It's like radioing in.
You also gotta watch out for American inventor, entrepreneur, hotelier, architect, school children.
School children use the Stanley practical drawing set. Photographers use the photographic plates, which made him a multimillionaire, and with his twin brother created the Stanley Motor Carriage Company. The Stanley steamer had a top speed of 127 miles per hour,
Fast as fuck,
which
boy.
made it the fastest vehicle. True. It was fast as fuck.
Boys.
Boy. It was the fastest vehicle on Earth at the time. In 1903, F.O. Stanley was given less than 6 months to live.
No. You gotta say faux Stanley.
Faux Stanley.
And
Faux Stanley.
I turned your asses
Stanley.
down so I could get through this shit.
You need to finish that bottle so you can get through this. Because I'm telling you, it's going to take a lot longer than you think.
In 1903, F.O. Stanley was In 1903, Stanley was given less
Stanley.
than 6 months to live due to tuberculosis.
Arthur.
There's a reason why I call it TB instead of tuberculosis.
You've got the tuberculosis. You need to get yourself some sunlight and fresh air.
Actually, the doctor recommended fresh, dry air and sunlight,
Look at
and
that.
a healthy diet. But he would
My goodness.
likely be dead before summer's end. Like many with the same diagnosis, Stanley and his wife headed for the Rocky Mountains. It was not an easy trek from Massachusetts, but his doctor promised to come in September to bring Stanley's body back for burial. However, within just a couple of months, Stanley was hiking 5 miles a day and nowhere near Death Star.
Death Star.
He was nowhere near the Death Star. Naturally, he fell madly in love with the valley in Estes Park that gave him a second chance at life and decided to return every summer. When Stanley first stepped foot in Colorado, he looked like the Walking Dead. At 5'11", which was quite tall, it was tall for back then.
Fuck, he was a skinny motherfucker.
He weighed only 118 pounds. Well, he had TB.
God. No, but here's the thing: like 118 pounds at almost 6
Yeah.
foot, you are a walking skeleton.
Yeah. And he had 1 foot in the grave. Just 4 years later, he was completely recovered and in the best shape of his life. In fact, he lived to be 91 years old.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah.
Then he went on to
Never
start
listen to
this
doctors.
fucking hotel.
Yeah. In 1907, Stanley was determined to turn Estes Park into a resort town. So he began to construct the famous Stanley Hotel. Or, sorry, back then it was called the Hotel Stanley.
1-800
He also built a hydroelectric plant up in the mountains so as the hotel could all be electric. He even had phones in every room. The main hotel, this guy was ahead of his time.
Yeah, he had some fucking money. Oh, you know what? We need to power this hotel. There ain't fucking shit out here. Let's just build us a fucking hydroelectric.
Forgot I turned Manny way the fuck down.
All right, go ahead and put the same time. You put your thing in the wall, and that's what you get.
I heard there was this thing. that there's like a turbine that when you put water in it, it spins and it makes lights go woo.
Why do I think of like everybody back in the day sounding like Boom Howard for like no reason? Because you know what I mean.
The main hotel and concert
That fucking
hall
electrified water, man.
were completed in 1909. Guests that arrived by train were. I'm sorry I have to cut you guys off, but I got to get through this. I can hear you guys. Yeah. Guests that arrived by train were ushered to the hotel by a fleet of specially designed steam-powered vehicles called mountain wagons. The Stanley was a summer resort, so heat was not added until 1979. Other than that, the hotel is basically the same now as it was then.
Cold as fuck.
In 1974, Stephen King and his wife Tabitha were living in Boulder for a short time, and King was struggling with his latest project, Darkshine.
And a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah.
No, see, here's the thing. Back in the day, it was probably opium.
No, this is 1974.
Yeah, this is Stephen King also.
Never mind. I am wrong.
Mr.
I'm just going
King.
over the talking points of the hotel.
No, it was
real quick.
probably acid then.
No, Mr. King was into that.
He was into coke. He doesn't even remember writing Cujo or something like that.
Here's the thing: is like Cujo was a great film too.
Yeah,
I like
was fucking
Cujo.
good.
It's a book.
It's a book, yeah.
It was a book first.
I understand, but I'm saying it's a good film. God damn.
No, we're specifically referencing the film, not the book. The film.
It was well done for that time.
We like dogs.
St. Bernard's, man.
He was looking for an isolated setting for the novel, and locals suggested Estes Park for inspiration. The Kings had heard about the Stanley and wanted to check it out. They found themselves the only guests that night, as the next day the hotel was closing for the season. Sound familiar at all? They were served dinner in an empty room with chairs on every table but theirs. Tabitha retreated to their room, number 217, while King wandered the long empty corridors, listening to canned music. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's just like another thing that Stephen King even wrote about. There can be canned music because in one of his films, they asked if they had Prince Albert in a can. So why wouldn't there be canned music?
And visit bartender grading the hotel bar.
No acknowledgement.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we have
It-
no idea.
Have you not watched it? The original?
Yeah.
Hey guys, do you have any Prince Albert in a can? You better let him out. Like
What the fuck was that in there?
in the library.
Yeah.
It's in the original one.
You're too old, Richie.
Yeah, where he's making fun of him.
It's been a long time since I watched
He
the
asked
original.
if they had any Prince Albert in a can, and if you did, you better let him out.
Yeah, so King ended up basing the hotel in The Shining off of the Stanley Hotel.
Which the Stanley didn't even want.
He thought that his room was haunted. He woke up in sweat, and he opened the curtain to the old. I'm going based off memory here because I just put the Shining stuff in here, assuming I would remember all of this. I forgot about the mead that we were going to be drinking tonight before I put that in there. But yeah, he went to the bathroom. There's an old claw-footed tub, and he opened the shower curtain. And his first thought was, "What if someone was in here right now?" And I think there's something just inherently creepy about really empty hotel, especially like hotels that have the indoor rooms. There's just, we've all been there at like 1 o'clock in the
rephrase that.
We've all been there like 1 o'clock in the morning, walking through a hotel that seems like it's completely abandoned. Like there's no one at the front desk, there's no one in the hallways, and there's a really eerie feeling about that.
The only hotel I've stayed in that had any sort of vibe like that was actually the Queen Mary, the ship itself, which actually is a hotel. And Ruth will tell you, even with the lights on, that place is eerie. Like you just legit, like you're laying in bed, you're the only person in that room, and it just feels like 1,000 people are staring at you in bed. You're like, oh, like it's odd. Even with the lights on, it doesn't feel good.
I think maybe we will do an episode soon on the Queen Mary.
That is my hope, because seeing and watching what Long Beach is doing with the ship itself, like it's going to start undergoing renovation finally. Like, thank you, City of Long Beach, for that. If any of you council members are actually listening, we are interested in doing some sort of paranormal investigation on the ship.
Yeah, I would love to do a paranormal investigation on that ship, but I mean like a podcast episode. We might have to do haunted ships or something like that.
We would like to film and record a podcast. We're going to do both. We're going to record audio and video for this one. I would like to do the podcast in B340. B340 being the most haunted room in the ship, which is rumored to be the psych ward of the boat itself. So like it being like the most twisted room you could possibly stay in, which they don't even offer. Like you have to try to finagle your way into getting into that room. And I think I may know the right people to do it.
Let's fucking do it. Let's go ahead and get into the ghosts.
Let's get into the ghosts.
Ghostly occurrences are reported in almost every room of this vast hotel, from shadowy figures, eerie laughter, flickering lights, to items moving on their own. The Stanley Hotel has all of your favorite phenomena. If you get too spooked, just find a member of the cleaning staff. Apparently, the ghosts hate vacuum cleaners. Every time someone vacuums, the machines go haywire and turn off, or the plugs come flying out of the wall.
Fuck your dust.
Let's talk about...
You don't need shit.
Though the Overlook Hotel from The Shining is fictional, as are the characters within, room 217, the one that King stayed in and is prominent in the novel, remains the Stanley's most requested accommodation. I can assure you there's no woman in the bathtub, but that doesn't mean the room isn't haunted. In 1911, during a large storm, the head housekeeper, Mrs. Wilson, was lighting the lanterns in room 217 when there was an explosion. Elizabeth was blasted through the floor into the McGregor dining room below. Believe it or not, she survived with only broken ankles. Now she spends most of her afterlife still taking care of the room. Guests have reported items moved, luggage unpacked, and the lights being turned on and off. Mrs. Wilson is very old-fashioned. She isn't a fan of unmarried guests sleeping in the same bed, so some couples have reported feeling a cold force come between them. When they wake up, they often find that the man's things have been packed with his luggage by the door. And one last note on that, actor Jim Carrey stayed in room 217 when the Stanley Hotel was used for filming of the iconic classic film, Dumb and Dumber. He reported getting so spooked that he ran from the room half naked in the middle of the night. Some of the film crew also got the creeps in the room.
Well, you have to tell us what the remaining piece from Dumb and Dumber actually is that actually still is in the Stanley Hotel to this day.
We landed on the moon!
It's the moon landing poster in the bar is still there to this day.
Yep. It should be noted that the room number, for anyone that's a fan of the movie, the room number in the movie is 237. That's because the Timberline Lodge here in Oregon, where the exterior shots were filmed, they didn't want any association with the ghost stories or any of that. So they picked a room number that wasn't real in their hotel. Room 237 did not exist.
I would just hate to be that film crew to have to go down that entire hallway and relabel every single room to a different room.
I would hate to be the guy that had to drive the fucking truckloads of equipment up that goddamn road to get to the Timberline Lodge.
Also, not even to mention just the gallons and gallons and gallons of fake blood that had come out of that elevator.
Yeah,
like because that wasn't CGI. That was practical effects. So they did that.
Was shot on the film set.
Right, like on an actual set, right?
Yeah,
which is kind of hilarious because, like, even still, like, how many gallons of blood did that take to make that?
It was something like 30,000, but I could be wrong on
ridiculous.
That. I know they had like the record for the most blood on set. I could be totally off on this, but
it is now. It does actually now belong to it. The first one, the newest one on it was that. No, was it the second?
It was Evil Dead, the remake.
Where it's raining.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was it was the second. Was it the second film on it? It held it for a while because it had that whole bathroom fill up with blood.
Oh well, that could not have been as much as they use in Evil Dead. Evil Dead used a lot of.
They
blood.
Absolutely did, but I mean, I would like to look into that.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So the Vortex. The stunning staircase between the floors in the hotel lobby was dubbed the Vortex. It is a tornado of spiritual energies, sort of a paranormal portal for all the ghosts that visit the hotel. Guests report cold spots and feeling dizzy on the stairs as though something has just walked right through them. Orbs and distortions have been caught on camera. Mr. and Mrs. Stanley have been seen hand in hand watching over the hustle and bustle of the grand staircase.
Woo!
All right. The concert hall. The concert hall was built by Faust Stanley as a gift for his wife Flora. The stage features a trapdoor. Excuse me as I move my mic and turn myself up a little bit.
We actually have an exact number while you're doing that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Evil Dead used 70,000 gallons of blood.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was 70,000 gallons.
Set.
So that was kind of like the rough estimate. So the rough estimate was 70,000 gallons.
Yeah, like
that's
fire trucks.
That's a shit ton. Thanks to our producer Ruth. Ruth found that information.
Yes, thank you, producer Ruth. The concert hall was built by Faust Stanley for his wife Flora. The lower level once housed a 2-lane bowling alley. The hall underwent extensive repair and renovation in the year 2000, but it is a favorite spot of Flora Stanley's. She has been known to play the piano well into the night. Another spirit fond of the concert hall is Paul. Among other duties, Paul used to enforce the Paul used to enforce the 11 p.m. curfew in the hotel's early days. Guests and employees report hearing someone telling them to get out late at night.
Sounds like me at work.
Just
Get the fuck out.
Or, unbelievably courteous guests that are next door to my hotel at the moment. Well, they have like a week left and then they're gone. So
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I really hope so, at least.
A construction worker was doing some work on the floors in the concert hall when he felt someone nudge him several times until he left. Paul is a big fan of the tour groups, often flickering their flashlights upon request. All right, and then the fourth floor.
The fourth level of hell.
On the fourth floor, guests staying on the fourth floor report hearing children running around, giggling, laughing, and playing. The closet doors tend to open and shut on their own. More than a century ago, the entire fourth floor was a cavernous attic. Later, it became lodging for female employees, children, and nannies. Room 248 reports of the sound of footsteps moving about. But
Sir, that's 428.
What'd I say?
248.
Oh,
shit.
Room 428 has reports of sound. See, you do this to me every episode.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that was correct.
Room 2.
There's literally a 4 at the beginning of that number.
He's going in fractions. He's doing it in halves now.
Room 428 has reports of the sound of footsteps and furniture moving about, but the real haunt is a friendly cowboy who appears at the corner of the bed.
Yeah! Did he have a big iron on his hip?
Big iron, with
a big iron on his hip.
With a big iron on his hip.
Big iron on his hip.
That's pretty good.
Get him up, get him down, get him high, get him low, get him lift his neck real high.
Clearly, Manny doesn't know big iron.
I don't know big iron. I don't know what that is.
Women
Obviously,
have woken
men.
up to him kissing their foreheads. Sorry.
That sounds amazing.
Women that have stayed in 240. Oh, just
428.
It's a curse of 428.
The curse of 428.
I almost said 2 myself. I wanted to go call her out on it, and I almost said it.
So women have reported being kissed on the forehead by the friendly cowboy. Just being woken up at night. And if he's asked to leave, he'll
obliterate everybody.
No, he will just leave the room. And he obliges to them.
You hear spurs in his big iron clanging along down the hallway.
But he respects ladies more than men.
I respect you, you dame.
Yeah, so that's
I'm sorry, I thought you was a whore.
That's my bad. I thought this was a brothel. I'm gonna give you a little smooch goodbye before I leave.
Obviously,
Feel my mustache.
many friendly cowboys have spent a night or two at the Stanley Hotel over the years.
Yeah.
But there is no indication of one. There's no indication of one dying in the building. Those that know their Estes Park history believe that this is the spirit of Rocky Mountain Jim Nugent. This is especially because he mostly
That's what it was.
he mostly appears to the ladies.
And I take out my gun.
Sometimes giving them a ghostly kiss.
Would you like to feel my gun?
With a real cool.
It's still hot.
on your forehead.
You want to feel the big iron in my pants? Big iron on my
They
pants.
say I wear it on my hip, but that's just where it stops.
If you stroke it, I'll let you cock it.
Fuck. Single action only. You know how it be.
Before indoor this is the ice house. Before indoor refrigeration, the Stanley Hotel had an outbuilding to house large blocks of ice. The ice house has been remodeled into a museum containing some of the original Stanley steamer cars. It is also
100 steamers.
and it's also
steamer makes carpet cleaner.
Copyrighted right away.
Yeah,
Stanley Steamers, you better be thankful we even remembered that. Your jingle's catchy as shit, and I hate you for it.
I need you to steam my carpets.
I mean, you know what they say about a Stanley Steamer.
the ice house also has 2 spirits that have been seen inside. Billy is a shy kid that shows up as a blurry figure in photographs.
He also has a long set of bangs that crosses his eyes.
He
No note
sings
on
about
second
some really
ghost.
weird stuff, you know, with like that skull painted on his face.
Yeah.
And everything.
Oh, Billy.
He's also really into My Chemical Romance.
His dad once took him to a parade.
He's very shy.
Let's talk about the pet cemetery.
Yes.
This is actually a real place, despite the fact that, you know, there's a movie made on it, because everyone thinks for some stupid reason that because a movie's made on it means it's not real.
Well-
It's a made up place, but a lot of these places are real, and you're just dumb.
Well,
So you better
and
just
pet
listen up.
cemeteries are a real thing across this country.
Oh, of course.
Existing long before King's novel, Pet Cemetery, there stood an actual pet cemetery outside of the Stanley Hotel. There are 2 beloved pets interred here that like to make appearances around the hotel. Cassie, the golden retriever, and Comanche, a fluffy white cat, have both been seen and heard all around the property. And then there's also the underground caves. If you take a 75-minute historic Stanley night, tour, I guess.
Talladega night.
I feel like we're
Thank you,
missing a
baby
word
Jesus.
somewhere in there.
If you go on the 70-minute night spirit tour,
If you go on the 75-minute night spirit tour at Stanley,
There's a lot of people that would like a 75-minute man tour.
your tour will come to an eerie halt at the end with a visit of the underground cave system. Workers moved about the hotel through the caves in the early days, so it makes sense this is a popular haunt. Skeptics will pass off the haunts as breezes from the historic piping and ventilation system, but beneath the hotel is higher than average concentration of limestone and quartz, with some ghost hunters believe help capture energy at the property.
spooky.
All right. Thank you, Ruth.
You're welcome.
Let's go ahead and move into the Estes method, which isn't necessarily a haunt of the hotel, but it's something that for people who are ghost hunters or ghost hunting enthusiasts is very important to us, and that is the Estes method. I am pulling this following passage from Astonishing Legends podcast official site, which I love. They are fucking awesome. They write great articles over there, and they have a great podcast. In January 2016, when Carl Pfeiffer, also a part of the 2019 Hellier docuseries, which if you haven't watched that, fucking watch it.
Fucking good.
It's so fucking good.
What is it called?
Hellier. You can find it on YouTube and Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I think the first whole season, if you're a Prime subscriber, is free.
They're both free on Prime and YouTube now.
Nice.
Connor Randall and Michelle Tate were brainstorming on a new way to make contact. By the way, guys, on our first ghost hunt, we are fucking using this method. I'm in love with this thing. What became the Estes method began as a simple concept. What if they isolated noise from an SB7 spirit box? A spirit box is a popular ghost hunting device. If you don't know, what it does is it sweeps radio for noise which paranormal investigators believe are manipulated by the spirits of communication.
Which, by the way, Manny is currently doing right now.
Well, a little bit different. What Manny is doing right now is EVP.
Yes, and my shoulder just popped real loud.
Is that what that
I was
sound
wondering
Yeah.
why you were looking like that. You just made a face.
Yeah. Spirit boxes flip through radio channels.
At a high frequency.
If you've ever watched ghost hunting, it's the thing that goes. It's annoying as fuck. That's another reason why I love this method.
Speaking of which, can I borrow your EMF reader?
It's actually picking something up.
I'm sure it is. We're talking about ghosts, man.
I'm not even kidding. And the funny part is it's changing direction because when I turned it on just now, it was in the yellow section right where I'm holding it.
I want to be devil's advocate, but we also are literally surrounded by electronics right now.
Right, but see, I'm holding it up against it, and it's not going nearly as far as it was. It's it's legitimately moving. Holy shit.
Just keep an eye on it. If it starts spiking, let us know.
Well, it'll make a noise when it spikes.
Okay.
It'll flash and it'll make noise, but yeah, let's hand it off to Manny because Manny's currently doing stuff. So let's pass it over to him. Let's turn the volume all the way up on this.
Yeah, you guys can be part of this live
toss it to you. Ready?
Ghost hunting shindig in.
There we go. I think you may have turned it off or hit the button because when you hit the power button, it'll beep a few times. This little red light on.
So where was I? If they isolated noise from an SB7 spirit box and fed that into a person, making them the receiver. Spirit boxes are a device with a fairly simple goal in mind: to capture and output communications from spirits. How does a spirit box do this? Well, it uses a frequency sweeper with different millisecond intervals.
That would be the noise, by the way.
During this time, you'll hear snippets and phrases.
That's the laptop.
Oh, it's picking up the laptop.
Okay.
That are believed to be controlled by or spoken by a spirit. Now, even ghost hunters acknowledge that there is a lot of audio pareidolia that happens, and that not every word heard is a direct communication. Pareidolia is us humans finding faces and sounds that are familiar to us and making something out of nothing, basically.
I always thought it was if you find 2 bananas.
Oh, paradole. The hope of the S.
I'm still thinking about it.
What?
It's 2 bananas because
it's a paradoles.
Paradole, but
the hope of the Essen method is to further isolate and concentrate on random radio feed. One must have the SB7 spirit box tapped into soundproof headphones so they cannot hear the questions being asked, and be blindfolded so they cannot guess, read lips at what is being asked. Once this has been established, the other investigators in the room, not the person listening, ask questions and see if the radio snippet of the human receiver matches. Human receiver says out loud any words or phrases they can make out. So basically, for anyone wondering, if you were to take 2 people, one person would put headphones on with a spirit box connected to them. So the person asking questions cannot hear the spirit box.
Correct.
Meanwhile, the person listening to the spirit box cannot hear or see what the person asking the questions is saying. And that creates an anti-pareidolia barrier. I love that method because, for one, I find spirit boxes highly fucking irritating. And for 2, it takes out human error in the process. Watch Hellier, they do a great session on the first season of that where they are asking questions and it's being answered by the person who literally cannot hear them asking the questions. So any thoughts?
I want to do it.
You want to do it?
It would be kind of fun. So we have to pick a really I honestly think if we were to be brought into B340 at the Queen Mary, there's a lot of recorded, especially on YouTube, multiple people, especially ghost hunters, have actually been to B340, including our favorites from BuzzFeed Unsolved, have also stayed there and experienced things. I honestly think that we could pick something up. This is my honest opinion. This isn't me being, an idiot or just kind of if I get you to believe that we're going to do something crazy, it's going to happen. No, this actually happens. I've had experiences on that boat before. I've only ever stayed one night on that boat, and that one night I've experienced multiple things. That place has so much activity that they offer their own ghost hunting tour. They offer their own. But if you were to go in there saying like, hey, I'm a ghost hunter and I'd love to do some tests and some crazy stuff, like they welcome it because it just brings them more business. They don't care. If you go in there with equipment and be like, hey, I'm going to hunt for ghosts on your ship, they're going to be like, do it.
Let's go ahead and make next week's episode Queen Mary.
Let's do B340. Like, okay. I'm really pushing for it because I think that it's such a hot spot and that I'm so interested, and everyone tells me all these horror stories about it that I just want to experience it for myself. So like, I just, I'm also a skeptic. I'm not scared of things. I'm not scared of a lot. So it's like to be in that room where they say, hey, dude, if you're in this room and you have the lights off and you're trying to sleep, shit hits the fan. I'm like, dude, I want to see it then.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and say tune in next week. We'll talk about Queen Mary. And while I'm on the soapbox, let's go ahead and say this is something that we want to do with this podcast, is move into that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Doing
and we can't
live
do that
investigations
without Patreon support. People. So like without our Patreon support, just as Manny said, none of this will be possible because especially with gas prices right now, holy crap, we won't be able to do this. And we want to do it for you guys as well.
Yeah. So if you guys can subscribe to our Patreon, that would be great. We've made that abundantly clear, I think, by this point. Also, if you can just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube, just a comment, review, anything you can do to kind of help boost us and get the word out there. Because a lot of you listening right now are our friends, our family, coworkers. There's a few people who aren't. And
let's break the algorithm.
Let's
put us at the top. Like, let's get some exposure going. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma.
Yeah, this is episode 5.
Tell your dad, tell your stepbro.
Coworkers.
Yeah, coworkers.
When
like
your mom's
tell
stuck
anybody.
in that, when your stepmom is stuck in that dryer.
Yep.
Before you do your thing to get her out, go up to her, put our podcast and toss it in that dryer and let it echo around her and fill her with lust.
You can even just whisper in her ears like, this is Tales from the Campfire, baby.
We want to, this is our 1 month anniversary episode.
Oh shit. Happy 1 month anniversary, you fat fucks.
And we want,
I say that with
Thanks,
love.
bro.
I'm fat too. It's fine.
we all got some Bailey.
We got dad bods. We're rocking the dad bods for sure.
What came first? King or the ghosts? Ghosts.
Chickens.
Ghosts. What came first? King or the ghosts?
Chickens.
Theories have been put forth
Chicken fatty.
that the collective imagination or thought can spur paranormal activities. Typically, after a sighting of a strange creature, townsfolk nearby inexplicably begin seeing the beast in their backyards. Ever heard of the Slender Man? He was created in June 2009 when a competition on the comedy web forum Something Awful was asking for ideas for a modern myth with which to terrify people. This doesn't stop people from reporting sightings of old Slendy to this day.
Just take a drink, man.
Yeah.
Take a drink.
I was trying. I tried. I mean, I'm left-handed and everything's on my
Do it
right.
on your right.
No,
You can use your right hand.
It's entirely
but it
possible.
wouldn't be left.
It's entirely possible that the Stanley was always haunted, sitting atop of all the ancient stone in a still wild area of the country. Things we don't understand tend to latch onto these kinds of places. But what do you think? Ghosts of the Stanley Hotel. Are they real? Or are they just another campfire tale?
far from the campfire, there are things in the woods watching you, waiting for you to come into the dark.